This is borage. I saw that it was wonderful and it should be planted and it was beautiful, and no, not so much. I'm going to film it and take it out and then let my zinnias stand in all their glory. So Borago officinalis is known as borage or star flower, and here's a flower. So here's a flower, and they're supposed to be beautiful flowers, but as you see, they're very prickly and they hang upside down. I don't know who thinks these things are beautiful, but you can take them off and eat them, use them in salads and ice cubes. If you turn it over, it's a perfectly starred flower. It's got 5 petals that are all pointy. But I don't think you're supposed to eat the brocks that are on the backside, especially since they're all prickly. I think you're supposed to take it off. I'm going to try to do that. Now it came off pretty easily, just peeled off, and I guess this is the beautiful flower that you can eat. You can freeze it in ice cubes, put it on cakes, on top of icing, in salads. It's got the little center to it. I mean, it can be pretty, but as you can see, I don't really have a ton of them. There's another one right there. It's kind of standing up, but there's another one I found down in there. So if I worked hard at it, I could find some in this mess. There's one laying on the zinnia. But overall, this plant is not beautiful. And I've seen it on social media many times, people recommending it, and I'd never heard of it or experienced it. So when I walked by some seeds earlier this spring, I decided to try it. After I planted my seeds, I read that once you have it, it's hard to get rid of. Oops! I'm not exactly a fan of it because the seeds spread so quickly. So I'm assuming these, maybe some of them have already bloomed and we're developing seeds, and they're just going to fall everywhere and quickly begin to grow new plants. So I don't like these. I'm going to have my husband take them out as soon as I'm done filming. You know, not all of the things we try are winners. Apparently they're prickly. I just touched it. They're a little prickly, but you can wear gloves if you're sensitive to it. The flowers smell sweet like honey. Let me smell. Well, there's that flower I took off. Nope, don't smell it. Don't smell the honey. Apparently the things in the middle smell like honey. But peeling those things off the back can be a time-consuming project. You have to really want these flowers. The plant is an herb, and it's grown for culinary uses as fresh vegetable or herb. It has a taste similar to a cucumber, so it's used in salads. Well, here is the leaves. You can see mine are dying. Let me get a leaf. So apparently these leaves can be used in salads, but you have to get out here and pluck them before they get prickly. I mean, who wants to eat a prickly salad? Can you see the pricklies? Look at them on the stem. So you have to cut them back very early on in order to eat them. So I am not going to taste them, but they apparently taste like cucumbers. And they're also used in soups, especially in German recipes. The leaves are also good as a chop and drop mulch. Now, I've heard this a lot, so you could actually, when we take this plant out, we can actually take these leaves and rip them up and just drop them on the soil for moisture, for nutrients, to put nutrients back into the soil. So they're great cover crop. That's what I learned that they're called. I learned that last year in 2023. So comfrey is also in the same plant family. It's actually in the forget-me-not family, the Borageaceae, something like that family. And so comfrey is also in the same family. And both plants can be used as liquid compost fertilizer. So you would put them in a bucket, cover them with water, and seal it tight for 4 to 6 weeks until it gets all smelly and brown. And then you can fertilize your plants with it. No thanks. Too much work for me. Chickens also like to eat borage, if you have chickens, which I do not. And if you plant them around other vegetables, such as beans and cucumbers, the Japanese prefer the borage. The Japanese beetles prefer the borage. And so they'll come munch on this before they will your other veggies. Plus, the beetles are easier to knock off into soapy water from the borage than the other plants. I'm glad I don't see any beetles on mine, though. People also dry the leaves to make tea, but with it being a diuretic and a sedative, I'm not so sure that's something I want to experiment with drinking. If you have liver problems, you should not eat borage, as it can be toxic to your liver. If you're pregnant or breastfeeding, do not consume borage, as it can cause birth defects and blood disorders. In fact, I read so many different claims for medicinal uses for borage, none of which I want to test, because there were too many claims and too many side effects. I think 2024 will be the one and only time I grow borage, and I hope if we take it out now, I can keep it from reseeding. Take one more look at it. It's kind of pink coming out there. Just so you see, this is not a plant for me. I'm wondering if this looks like it could be seeds already. Yikes!